Now I'm going to start a side-by-side comparison between Revoltech 68 and Revoltech 102. The height difference is not that noticeable. There's maybe 1 centimeter or less of difference. The shoulder pad things were reduced in size in the Evolution series. They are much longer here. Also, the head sculpt is slightly different between the two Evas. This one is more flat and this one wider on the forehead and the chin. Also, the Evolution series has a lot of details that are not present on the first Revoltech of Rebuild Evangelion. Like I said before, the fists of 2.0 model, which can only move sideways compared to the wider motion degree of the Evolution series because of the articulation. On the back there are the 3 spinal cord sections, the umbilical cable, and the cover of the entry plug was enlarged on the Revoltech Evolution series. The way the pylon is held, like I said before, is with this small Revoltech joint and this tiny peg here, which allowed only a certain degree of motion and that restricted the way the arms could move, unlike this one. Another difference between the EVA Evolution series and the 2.0 mold is the hip system. The Evolution series is able to bend the leg completely, whilst the 2.0 mold has to be swinged on this joint here. They both look good, but this one looks more natural and allows some poses that this EVA is incapable of doing. The next part to review are the extras that come with the figures. The first one are the progressive knives. We can see that the EVA Evolution version is longer. Besides that, there are no other important differences. They have the same number of details and colors. One thing that bugs me is that this thing is supposed to be hidden within the shoulder part of the EVA. The knife is actually longer than it. For as much as Evangelion breaks the laws of physics, there's no way this thing fits in there. Now, the next part is the EVA's trademark crossbow. There is, except for some minor differences in color, such as this part being lighter than the Revoltech Evolution version, this is probably the same mold that they used. The only important difference is that this part that was closed in the 2.0 mold is open here, as to put the hand. Other than that, this one is a little bit darker, and this one lacks the yellow part here. But that is the only difference. Now, the S-type equipment, or jetpacks or wings of the EVAs, are this. Well, this one has this yellow part here that is not present on the Evolution version of the wings. I'm not quite sure which one is screen accurate right now. Other than that, the exhaust parts from where the fire comes, the 2.0 mold has this green point here. The other wing has a red one, if I recall properly. They were supposed to be plain lights. Well, the only other difference is that the peg that held them in the 2.0 mold is here, and that it's here on the Evolution version. The only difference is that the 2.0 version has an axe and a palette rifle, which are not present in the Evolution version, which is in turn compensated with the Angel Core and the Angel Thorns and Spinning Base for the Eva. This is the Eva's Spinning Base, the major gimmick on the Eva Evolution series, aided by these little prods. You could attach the Eva to the base, and with this crank the Eva will spin. Oh god, this is harder than it looked like in the publicity. Like I said before, this is just a fancy egg feature because I don't really like this feature. It helps with the display of the angel thorn thingies here. Besides that, I don't see it of much use. It would be just easier to, I don't know, use a normal base. This one is pretty much, and by almost unanimous consensus, a waste of space on the Eva. I think we could have taken another pallet rifle instead. So this is it for the review. Revoltech pulled out a figure that, while not as graceful when posing, or detailed, or paint flawless as a robot Damashi, it can do its stuff right. When it comes to sculpt, the figure is screen accurate to the Evas in the movie, and they solve a lot of issues the last batch of Revoltech had, the 2.0 mold. This one corrected the short entry plug and the motion issues on the shoulder fins, and they don't have that weird waist robot Damashis have. When it comes to paint, there are a few minor paint mishaps on the figure, but otherwise it's perfect. I have seen figures with a lot of paint problems, such as the mass-produced Evangelions that had a lot of missing black lines, and the lips were all gooey, and they looked like they were melting most of the time. For a hand-painted figure, or at least with some hand-applied details, this figure really passes the test of paint and details. As of ease of pose, this image speaks for itself. It is really hard to do this with the 2.0 mold of the Evas. It is hard at first to get used to the new articulations of the Evas, especially the ones on the legs and under the shoulder parts, but one gets used to it, and then it's really easy and really fun to pose one of these figures. This is especially easy with the Revoltech stand, which comes with every Revoltech figure, unlike other brands which you have to buy separately the support for the figure. One last detail about the figure is that the joints in the elbow and the wrist are really soft. When you change between the S-type forearm and the normal forearm, you have no difficulty sliding the joint for the first time. In the old Revoltech, you have to make the hole bigger or put a lot of effort into sliding the joint for the first time. This doesn't happen here. I don't know if it's because they are molded on a different material, or if the joint is different, or is it because the joint is really small, but they don't have that problem anymore, which is really good in fact. And finally, would I recommend this figure? I would say yes and no. Yes, because as a Revoltech fan, I can say that this figure is a great improvement since the last time. And no, because robot damages for about the same price offer greater possibility and sculpt and etc. Um, I think they are both in the same level now. Maybe Revoltech is a little bit low and has to perfect a few other details, but well, I hope that when they change those details they won't redo the whole set again, because having to buy the Evas all over and over again is quite annoying. Anyhow, this is Silly One making the review of the Evangelion Production Model Unit 2 from the Eva Evolution series from Yamaguchi Revoltech number 102. You can visit my blog evaposters.blogspot.com to see more pictures of my other Revoltechs, and thank you for watching.